dogs are listening.
You are the ones who are the ball lickers.
What we got's gonna turn your brain into shit.
Why you laugh?
Zlurpcast!
Hey, Zlurpcast. We're back once again. Is it every month? Is it every week? Is it whenever? Mostly whenever. Jonny P here. I've got Xtreme, and we have a special guest. Sean Cowley is on. And Sean, you've got a Vanderby Sucks shirt on.
I do. It's I'm one of many people who try to spread the gospel for the greatest vampire team that has ever not played the game. They are the greatest, but they have actually never taken the field before. Vanderby Sucks is well known throughout the Midwest, primarily in Chicago. I believe the primary disciple would be Jeffro. He converted me years ago. They're an amazing vampire team, really. And in no way is this a comment on any other individuals.
So it's all vampire related, not anything else. Can I just say, did you make that shirt or no?
I did not. I got it from Jeffro back at LVO several years ago. He wasn't going to be playing in the Sevens event and wanted to make sure that there was somebody available to spread the gospel. So he just gave me the T-shirt, and I've been wearing it ever since. I keep going to tournaments and finding other disciples in it. He was in one in South Dakota of all places.
It looks like Feast of the Flesh fonts. I recognize the fonts on that one. And I'm pretty sure if you look it up, like I think it's got on defont.com, it's called Feast of the Flesh. So for font nerds out there, I wanted to just call out the font,
Only the best for Vanderby Sucks, the greatest vampire team that has ever taken the pitch.
It's the best free font you can get, yeah.
The font name works with the whole theme with the vampire team as well.
Yeah. If I could offer one suggestion, get a little blood on there. Get a little blood.
Maybe for the next round of T-shirts, that might make a lot of sense, actually. We may be able to convert even more people to the cause.
We've got you on, Sean, and Xtreme. I know we're going to cover a lot of different things. Do we want to talk about this amazing event planned for about 1 year from now? Do you want to get into that at all?
Is there something going on a year from now, actually?
You didn't get the memo?
Oh, you know what? You're right. That's right. So we won the bid to host next year's Amorical Cup. It'll be the first week in June. That's Friday the 5th of June, and then the main event will be Saturday the 6th and Sunday the 7th. Hosted in Metro Detroit, not technically in Detroit, but in one of the suburbs on the northwest side. Be quick in and out for individuals who are flying in through Detroit. It's about 15 miles north of the airport, real easy in and out. It's going to be a great hotel setup, sort of an all-inclusive kind of encapsulated event where you can stay in the hotel for the weekend, play in a number of events, which I'm happy to talk about with you as well. There will be food on premises for people during the tournament who don't want to head out. They're going to do concession kind of food for us. They'll have a bar for us set up during the tournament, as well as obviously the hotel's main bar. And there's a ton of food options within a stone's throw of the hotel itself as well. So it should be a nice event for people to be able to come into and have a good time with a bunch of friends on the weekend, which is what Blood Bowl is all about, right?
The game, as we always say, sometimes is secondary. It's typically a reason to hang out. And, you go in with that mentality and then your expectations are low, and that's a good thing. But your fun expectations from seeing your friends and hanging out, that's always at a high. Sean, when you put together the bid with your team, that's a lot of work, right? So it would have been devastating to hear a no, right?
It was a fair amount of work. I put a great team together. Xtreme was on the committee with me. We've got a good group of guys from all across the country. We've got a fair amount of work and experience putting on fairly decent sized tournaments. I think other than the people that were involved in Amorical in Ottawa, I think we've got the people who have run sort of the largest events in the continental United States that were on the bid committee with me. So that does a lot of the heavy lifting for you, obviously. We put a fair amount of work into it, as well as just sort of finishing kind of stuff, making sure the bid looked professional and nice. There's some crossover with individuals who were also involved in the failed Dallas World Cup bid, so we had some experience with that too. And I think that also helped kind of round off some of the corners for us too. But yeah, we put a fair amount of work in, and I was recruiting people like Xtreme for a significant period of time beforehand, just to make sure that we could put a good product out there.
Yeah. Well, and that obviously it came through, it won. So now it's time to deliver. Now it's time to make a kick-ass event and make it so memorable. So Amorical Cup traditionally has been a team tournament, a team of 4 coaches, right?
And it still will be this year, coming up as well. We're actually working on finalizing the rule set, but depending on when this podcast comes out, it may be launched by then. It's our intention to get it out fairly quickly. We've had a few calls to talk with sort of the planning steering committee for the Amorical Cup, which stays despite the fact that the tournament rotates around. So people who've been involved in past Amorical Cups are still involved, making sure that we're staying true to the normal kind of expectation for the event. We've put together, I think, what'll be a fairly competitive rule set that people will enjoy and will help people to kind of have a good mix of teams in their 4-person squad, whether they want to either go for the all-out trophy and win the whole thing, or whether they'd like to goof around and go for one of the sort of love of the game kind of awards to borrow from Zlurpee Bowl.
Yeah. I think when people show up in costumes, you know what they're going for usually. Like if there's 4 dinosaurs that get out of a car, you're like, these guys aren't really competing, but they're going to have fun. You know what I mean?
People in wizard boxing robes like they were in
yeah.
Time. Yeah, right. Yeah.
I think you're going to see that. You're going to see the hyper competitive ones too. Xtreme, when you first realized that you were on the team that got the winning bid, were you thinking, I want to put together a team to play, or Xtreme, did you actually think you want to be on the staff?
I wanted to put together a team to play. I've never had the opportunity to go to an Amorical Cup before, so I was really excited that whoever won this year, I think I was going to attend. But being in Detroit makes it much easier for me. So yeah, I'm excited to go. I wanted to put together a team right away, and kind of did. Our team is ready to go unofficially because the rules aren't out yet and we can't register. But
do you think anyone's going to bail once they see the rules?
Not because of the rules, maybe because of like real life things, possibly. But
what's real life? What is that?
Chase anybody away?
I don't know what real life is. I know I have Blood Bowl friends, and they live in a fantasy world, and I live in that world too, which is kind of nice. When this tournament actually occurs, is the plan to have it be the largest tournament in North America ever, or are you just kind of whatever happens mindset?
So it's certainly shaping up that way thus far. We've had a lot of feedback from people. Anecdotally, I can say that there are a large number of people who are really excited about the successful bid, excited about coming to Detroit. I think there's a lot of things going for Detroit from a geographical location for us. It's still relatively close to Canada, so we'll still be able to draw, I think, a fair amount of the individuals who are really interested in coming from the Ottawa Blood Bowl scene, the Toronto Blood Bowl scene. The Montreal Blood Bowl scene is huge as well. I think all of them it's still within a relatively close distance to drive or fly in. It's also a major hub airport as well, and so because of that, I've heard people from multiple locations in the West Coast are bringing like 3 or 4 teams with them as well. So I think that it's entirely possible we end up being the largest tournament. That'd be nice if it happens. Really, we just want to put a good product on and make sure that everybody has a great weekend. But we've also planned for the potential that this could not only be the largest tournament in the continental United States, but far and away larger. The hotel that we're in has a ballroom that's modular. It's got 4 quarters to it, and we'll be in, for starters, 3/4 of that, which will be, to put in perspective, about 6,000 square feet. If anybody was in Ottawa last year for it, they were in about 5,000 square feet, so slightly larger, but not significantly bigger. That'll
what is that in meters for the Canadians in meters?
I haven't done the conversion. Ironically, the convention center in Ottawa was in square feet, which I thought was kind of amusing when I looked at their stuff.
Yeah. Well, they probably do everything in feet, and then like when Americans come by, they like scramble, like and and then we caught them. You know what I mean? Like we caught them.
What
like
is
we
a
know
kilometer,
we were doing
right?
this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
now, let me ask you, Sean. In the next year, if the wall goes up between the U.S. and Canada, and I'm thinking 10,000 feet, maybe 20,000 feet is what I'm kind of shooting for.
Like an ice wall with the Great White North above us and the wildlings, right? Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, the wildlings. I that could happen. So I hope it doesn't, because I want it to be a big tournament. And obviously I would like to see those people come too. But of course, being our homeland, we would love it if an American team won, a United States team, ideally. But Canadians have a chance. Is that what you're saying? They have a chance.
And in fact, the Canadians won it last year, so we've got some bragging rights to sort of make sure that we can get back from that perspective. But no, I play a lot of Blood Bowl with the Canadian group, especially the Toronto and Ottawa group, and they're really good guys, and a lot of them are really interested in coming down. Actually, from where I live in Metro Detroit, the closest place for me to go to tournaments oftentimes is in Ontario, and so I've spent a lot of time over there playing with those guys. I expect that there will be quite a few people in from Canada as well as from all around the United States, and if we do get really, really large, the hotel is totally cool with us just taking the fourth quarter of their ballroom, which will put us up over about 8,000 square feet, which will comfortably give us space for probably 350 people. To put in perspective, about 200 were at Amorical last year. So,
pretty great.
As big as it gets, I think we'll be able to accommodate ultimately. The larger problem might be needing a second hotel for bed space for individuals, not space for actual gaming. And the hotel's tables are wide enough for us to play end to end as opposed to sidelines, so that those individuals who are used to being crammed in at a table in for example a European location, we will have the ability to actually get the board on the table in the manner that most people are used to at large tournaments. So
once the bid was announced, just the excitement, all the new people going to the Discord and stuff, I don't think I ever remember seeing that for any other tournament. Like the volume of traffic going towards just from the bid being announced, not even the rules pack or anything else.
Yeah, it's been great so far, and we've actually kind of had to slow people down a little. Initially the selection committee suggested that this week they were going to announce who the bid location was. And so because of that, we've kind of had to be a little closed with some of the information, because I didn't want people swarming the hotel before the room block got set up. That should be set up. That should be set up by the time this podcast comes out. I was actually going over some finalized details with the hotel today. So I would imagine that'll be set up pretty quickly. They gave us a great deal on a room block as well. And so from that perspective, I think it all is going to, knock on wood, come together pretty well for us.
Do you think, Sean, that you're you've been a bit of a Blood Bowl ambassador for the last 4 or 5 years? Do you think this is, I don't want to say it was like campaigning, like politics, but you travel around to so many different tournaments. And so now it's like, all right, guys, now payback time. You better all commit to going. Is there a little bit of that, you did the circuit, you did the campaign, now it's, coming together?
Most of those favors I called in, so to speak, were for people that I put on the committee in the first place.
Okay.
But, it probably doesn't hurt that I've played in a fair number of states around the country, and I've gotten to see Blood Bowl everywhere from the West Coast to the East Coast to the South. I'm going to New York actually this coming weekend for a tournament. I'll see the whole the Nebben, the Northeast Blood Bowl network group up there for that. Some guys from Canada will probably come down. Some of my best friends in the game are from Texas as well, and all over the country. I'm sure that probably helps. But I think that there's a lot of excitement just to have Amorical back and have these kind of team tournaments back again. I remember when I started playing Blood Bowl, which was right before COVID hit, I was interested in going to Amorical, and it just kept getting delayed because of COVID and delays with that. And I think people are just really excited to have it back again, and we're excited to to be the place that they can come and do that next June.
The bid process was going through and the committee was choosing one. The people's names attached to it definitely helped a little bit, but the fact that the bid was so strong and so well done, I think really led the way. You did a great job with that, finding, everything that's in it that I know is not completely public yet, but all the work you put into it, you did a phenomenal job and definitely deserved it.
No, I appreciate that. It was a team effort, but was happy to be sort of the lead on that. And for those that have asked before, I would imagine the bid in its entirety will be published by the time this podcast goes live. And if not, it will be very, very close to it. It's not our intention to have hid any information. Really, more than anything, I didn't want people deluging the hotel and eating up space so that our room block didn't get filled because they had other people there ultimately. So all of that.
And that's a fair reason. I mean, there's really no other reason. I mean, you just want to make sure that you give people the right chance to do it the right way. You're putting all these things in place because you know what would happen? Somebody would reach out to the hotel, set up their own, and then later on come to you and say, can you get me a better rate? I already got my room booked. And it's like, you didn't follow the system. You went rogue, Are you thinking there's going to be other hotels nearby that people are going to use once it sells out?
So there are about 230 rooms in the hotel that we've got, and to put in perspective, our room block is only set. They're only requiring 70 rooms a night for 2 nights, so 140 room nights. We can obviously host a whole lot of people, and a lot of those are double rooms too. So I would anticipate a lot of people will be doubling up on like the double queen rooms for that. There are several hotels that are right next door down the street, and if we end up needing that much official space, we've also thought about doing sort of a shuttle for people from that hotel to the main hotel, in the morning when the tournament starts. A lot of these hotels are literally walking distance right across the street, or maybe a 2 or 3 minute walk. For those that are driving in, the parking is free at the hotel. It's in an area that doesn't have parking costs associated with it, and there's no cost for parking at the hotel as well.
That's great. A lot of people were asking if Eminem or Kid Rock might be showing up. Any news on that?
Yeah, we're going to do our best to get all of the Detroit personalities in. RoboCop may also make an appearance, Axel Foley as well, and we'll see what we can do on those things. But yeah, so we're excited to have people in for Detroit, and we're actually going to have some Detroit themed stuff going on. So that weekend, as I've already kind of suggested, a lot of people are planning on coming in from parts unknown all over. I already know of a couple of teams from Europe that want to come over. There's a number of people from the West Coast, and a lot of the West Coasters can't get out in time to play sevens on Friday night. So a lot of them are going to be coming in on Thursday night as well. Because of that, we're going to attempt to do sort of a weekend of Blood Bowl events, almost more like a con experience would be. So Friday night, we're going to have a sevens event. And that event will be Detroit themed, and you will get an opportunity to, despite what team you're playing with in sevens, you'll get an opportunity to purchase for your team. It's not free, but you can roster either a death roller or a snotling pump wagon, and we're working on some giveaways for that for a dwarven death roller where the dwarf is driving a classic car. And a snotling pump wagon that, of course, is a Zamboni to honor the Red Wings. So
you got the auto theme and the hockey theme covered.
Yeah, we're looking to play into some of that Detroit theme too. If you're in early that weekend, the goal as well is to probably play Dungeon Bowl during the day on Friday for people who came in Thursday night, or if you just want to come out and be there for Friday morning. So there's going to be a lot of different events that you, in theory, can get into. There's a lot of food within the close, not necessarily walking distance, but within a 5-minute drive, there's 15 different restaurants that are around there. Everything from Japanese steakhouse. There's a Brazilian steakhouse that's right down there as well. There's Italian food. There's Shake Shack burgers. There's barbecue. There's all kinds of stuff right there. And then there's a number of sort of downtown dining district areas in Metro Detroit that are within about a 10-minute drive as well, too. So lots of options for people.
That's awesome.
Too. Yeah.
Well, it's obviously great location, central. You put together all the research. It's kind of no doubt. Extreme for you, you're kind of like your home away from home is Michigan. Then were you excited personally to see that it won? I mean, I know you were on the team that put the bid together, but just from a fan standpoint, because, Chicago had its time for a long time, right? And I grew up there, so it was like we had all these things, and you don't know what you got till it's gone, as Cinderella the band once told us. And so we had the bunker and Chaos Cup and all these things, and we're like, whatever. We just took it for granted. And then Indy, you have Gen Con, but outside of that, it's Zlurpee Bowl on you. So for you to see something like this come up in your sort of your wheelhouse, sort of your territory, you're pretty excited, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, of the bids that were rumored to take place, this was going to be the one geographically that was easiest for me. But I was pretty well committed to go to wherever it ended up. It's definitely more exciting because it's easier for me and because I'm familiar with the area. I'm looking forward to that. I was thinking, like, on that subject, though, the other day I was looking, and it's kind of crazy how many times I played in the Chicago area, and then of late, like, it's been a while since I've been back to Illinois to play. It's just weird how that stuff happens.
I think it's it's pretty great now in the last few years that there's so many tournaments, so many events. It is different though, because the former hubs where there were more events aren't always the same, but then other ones have popped up to take its place. So you're right. There probably isn't as many in the Chicago area, but there are still some, relatively, especially, Midwest, you get the benefit of kind of going wherever you need to go on there. And obviously, Sean, you'll go wherever, so no issue with that. But for Midwest only people that aren't going to maybe fly and that aren't going to drive more than 7 hours, that circle is probably still pretty full with tournaments. It might be Iowa and Ohio as opposed to Chicago, but they're still there,
There's still tournaments in Chicago. There's still several there a year. I think we're in a position now where there's so many tournaments that you can kind of pick and choose, or for my personal self, my schedule only allows so many times. I go to a lot of tournaments, but I'm also very busy. So that's the reason I miss a lot of tournaments, not because I don't want to go, but because I have something else going on. And thankfully, we're flooded with choice now, and we can just choose, I'm going to go over here instead, because that works with my schedule.
When it comes to putting on events like this, is this something that, do you think it's, because Extreme, obviously you run Zlurpee Bowl, and now Sean, even though you have a team, would you say you're the main guy for Amorical? Main guy to main guy, I think there's something there.
Yeah, probably.
Is it more rewarding to have a giant tournament with all the stress that goes with it? Or do you just sometimes wish, man, I wish there was like 6 people here and I could just like wing it with an Excel spreadsheet barely, or even do it in my head and call it a day? Like it is so rewarding to have a big tournament.
You want to go first, Brian?
Sure.
He doesn't want to answer.
I think both can be rewarding. I think with a big tournament, I always recommend TOs make sure they have some downtime after the tournament's over to kind of decompress and get their life back in order. But
yeah. So some of my favorite tournaments have been the ones that I have run through Excel, because there were only 7 or 8, 8 people there, kind of thing. But some of I've found anyways that there's a lot of stress, isn't really the right word, but really just a desire to make sure that people have a good experience, execute service delivery for people. I run the Sevens kickoff event at Chaos Cup since it moved to Orlando. James Luft asked me to start doing it, and I still feel, even though this will be the 3rd year of me doing it, there's still a fair amount of stress making sure that it's a good event, that people are set up well. But I'll tell you what, when the first year down there, we broke the record for the largest Sevens event ever, and knock on wood, we'll take it back. This time, this coming up, we almost caught Amorical last year. But when 70 people sit down and everybody's in their seats in 30 seconds after the app worked the way that it was supposed to work, and everybody's getting ready to go and having a good time, it is an awesome feeling to see everybody play this game that we love, that we all have been playing for quite some time and now can share with other people and can, help them, sort of get into the game and have the kind of experiences that bring us back. I think it's great. And I'm really looking forward to doing that for people in Amorical as well.
That's a great point. It's not so much stress as a TO. It's like self-imposed stress because you want to make sure everyone's having such a good time.
I mean, it's not. You're right. It's like it's self-imposed stress. It's still stress, but it's not a negative stress. It's more of like a nervousness, butterflies. Like if you were going to go on stage in a play or something, because you want to do a good job. I remember when I was running Chaos Cup, one of the best feelings is the moment a game, especially the first game, when the first game starts and you just go, or even just, grab a drink or a bathroom or anything. It's like, you realize that, okay, like a certain chunk of the work is done. People are there. They're having fun. It's happening. It's great. And there's only a small window because like real quickly after it's, Judge, can I pick up the ball? And I'm like, you know the answer. You don't need, but there's like a small window where there's no questions and everyone's playing. It's like 30 minutes, and it's the best ever because you see, to your point, Sean, when you see everybody there, it's almost like, it's weird because it's like, I mean, this is going to sound very arrogant, but like, I made this.
For me, it will be 3 minutes in on Saturday, the 6th of June, when everyone has sat down. We haven't finalized the schedule yet, so I can't tell you exactly what time in the morning it will be, but I will make sure the bar is open because there will probably be a cocktail in my hand. And I will sit there and think to myself, wow, we actually did this. And then the second thought in my mind will be, I hope the scoring system doesn't break between round 1 and round 2. But, that's
round 1 mimosas might be in order.
Yeah.
That's great. Is and I know again you're going to release it all, but do you know or can you share? Is it going to be like 4 games and 2, or could we not get into that yet?
Yeah, we're gonna go 4 and 2 so that people can get out earlier on Sunday if they have travel plans. We thought that would be
okay. Is that okay to talk about? I mean, I can.
Yeah. Yeah. No, totally. There's no super secret with that. The idea behind that was essentially that would allow people who have flights to get out a little bit earlier. I have been in the past the person who needs to run to the airport after a tournament is over with, and so from that perspective, we think that's just going to make things easier from that from there. Plus, with the need for going out for lunch during the lunch break, if you want to call it, sort of lessened because they're going to do concession food on hand there. If anyone was at Chaos Cup in the last couple of years, you've seen like they do the concession food right outside. They're doing the exact same kind of thing for us for this year. That'll allow us to get 4 games in, and it won't feel quite so rushed on Saturday as well, too. So,
yeah, everyone knows it's a long day. Like it is what it is, and it sounds like you're trying to do what you can to make it not quite as marathon like on that Saturday.
Brought to you by McMurdy's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loading it. You are tuned into the Zlurpcast
with Xtreme and Jonny P. Lodging to a speaker near you.
That's what we are.
Inside the dugout.
Compadres forever. For a lifetime.
So, shifting gears here, Xtreme, you've got Zlurpee Bowl coming up. Okay, so we go from a Amorical Cup plan from a year from now, start making plans now, to your baby Xtreme happening just 2 months from now for Zlurpee Bowl. Are we on 15?
14.
14. Okay. That's something that
second gets myself there for a second.
I couldn't remember where we're at there. So Zlurpee Bowl, I know we've talked about it on previous Zlurpcast episodes. It is sold out, but there's still room. Like, is that what you normally do? It's kind of like if somebody gives you a real life bribe, they double their entrance fee. You let them in, even though you're not supposed to. So one of those deals.
Not quite that kind of a deal, but it is sold out. I'm not 100% convinced the 50 people on the list will be the 50 people at the tournament. So if you are interested in coming to Zlurpee Bowl, definitely email me and we can have a discussion about it. But it feels kind of weird segueing from Amorical Cup to Zlurpee Bowl, because usually Zlurpee Bowl on this podcast is like a big deal, but it feels like a little like kid brother to Amorical right now, because Amorical is the huge tournament that it will be next year.
Yeah, well, Xtreme, never forget that you had for a while the record for largest like GW sponsored tournament in the country for a while, right?
That is true, yes. For a while.
Yeah, right. For a while. You were the
Not
number one
anymore.
dwarf coach for a while. It's not anymore, obviously, but
Yeah, that was a long time ago. But
it was.
yes, at one time.
That was pre-Farina, right?
Well, he's not in the U.S. That
Oh,
was
okay.
pre-Brian 2 taking over the world.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty good.
He's all right. Yeah,
He's all right.
I've heard of that guy.
And Xtreme, yeah. And Xtreme, you're talking about most prolific dwarf coach. That's your own personal goal this year. Besides a great tournament, from a coach standpoint, that's your big goal this year, is to claim that, right?
Yeah, it is on pace to happen at Gen Con, so not too much longer.
All right. Well, good luck. I hope it works out for you. Once you get that, are you going to retire them or just keep shooting to the top? And
Yeah, no, you have to create distance so that way no one catches you, right? So you have to keep going.
okay. If Farina is watching, that's his NAF name, right?
Yes.
Do you think he's watching or no? Or listening?
No, I don't.
Why?
He hasn't played in 4 years, so I really don't think he's listening to Zlurpcast.
Do you want to call him?
If he ever did, I doubt.
Wait,
he ever
should we call him?
Sure.
Let's call him right now.
Yeah. What time is it by him? Hi, Farina. It's like,
I don't know.
it's probably 3 in the
Way
morning.
more early.
Why you laugh?
No, Xtreme. I hope you deserve it. You've been, for a long time, you switch teams all the time, just like a lot of us. You were bouncing all around, but has it been dwarf focused for a good 6-7 years now for you, or more?
For the most part, yeah. Even when I was bouncing around, I would go like 2 or 3 years where it was mostly dwarf games. But then it would be, I'd get tired or something. I'd take like a year off almost.
Or if you know someone really good's going to be there, you don't play dwarves, right?
No, that never came up. No, I've always played dwarves. Like it didn't matter if the rule set didn't favor them, or like I was never worried about playing them in a good environment for dwarves. It's just I was playing dwarves because I wanted to play dwarves.
Yeah. Sean, have you had a go-to team like that, or do you switch things up quite a bit?
Yeah, so I've for a while I was switching things up all the time because I was trying to finish my 24, and I got into the game in 2018, so I had to get going before they sort of shut the 24 down during the new rule set when it came out. It's funny talking about the new rule set, and now we might be getting another one, but so from that perspective, I do play a couple of different teams a lot more than the others. Dark Elves, Underworld, Vampires for a while I was on, Necro and Undead I play a fair amount of, and lately I'm taking Elven Union to Hungary for Euro Bowl, so I've been playing a lot of Elven Union games too. So a lot of fast, squishy, agile things lately.
Yeah. Are you going elves because it is like overseas and elves are more common there, or just because you want to?
A little of both. I was getting my teeth kicked in by pro elves in Europe in the last couple of years, both at Greece for Euro Bowl and in Alicante before that. And as well, the way I play Dark Elves, I was taking too many hits and taking too many casualties, and so wanted to get away from that, and also to play an elf team that if I was down 2 or 3 guys, it didn't start to sort of spiral and implode on me as much. And so I ended up committing to Elven Union before we even saw the rule set, and found out that for Euro Bowl anyways, Union is actually a pretty good squad as far as the build is concerned. So
is that because like the tiers change on races? Is that part of it?
Yeah, and they were allowed in that rule set really to stack without a massive penalty. I mean, they were taking a penalty to stack, but it didn't end up costing you anything you were looking for. In fact, I think that Union is getting an extra skill that they probably don't even need in that rule set, even on top of stacking. So it worked out, and the math worked for exactly what you would want. I've got 2 rerolls plus leader and 13 players on the team with, I think, 8 skills, which is just a ton. So it's worked out pretty well so far. Yeah. And I think in listening to what other people have been looking at and listening to other podcasts and things talk about the Euro rules, there's a reason there are, I think, so many Elven Union teams are probably going to be in Budapest. So
nice. I didn't know there were other podcasts. Actually,
I've heard. Anyways, I've never listened to them, but
Thank you. Yeah. Don't listen. Don't watch. Yeah. Just don't do it. They don't support anybody, just ever with anything in life. But I was trying to find my. I found my I was moving recently. I found my Blood Bowl box here. Okay, just like miscellaneous stuff in here. Blood Bowl friend over here, and I was trying to find my 24 patch because I got one of those. And I forgot that there was no sticky on there.
Yeah.
So I thought there was but now 24, it's kind of like, well, what are we on now? 30? What's the number now?
I think it's 30, yeah. Something like that. High 20s at least. So.
Kind of sucks that as soon as we get it, it's not even like cool anymore. So. Extreme, you're never going to get 24, so don't even worry about it.
I don't know. I'm not that far off.
Keep playing dwarves. You'll never get there. If you keep playing dwarves, you'll never get there. If they totally nerfed dwarves, would you still play them?
So, wow. So that's on the horizon, right? That's one of the threats. It depends on what the change is. Like, there's some changes that I think I could tolerate and be like, okay, they're not as good as they used to be, but I'm going to keep playing them. And then there's changes where we're going to tear these things to the ground and restart over. And like, I don't know if it would be the same. If it got to the point where it's like, okay, now none of my models work and I need to put together a new team, that's going to be, I'd probably take a break if nothing else.
Yeah. And you have 3 of the same team anyway, right?
4.
4. Okay. Wow.
I'm happy to report that I'm actually playing with one dwarf this coming weekend. Extreme, you'd be happy for me. You might not be happy with which dwarf it is. I'm not happy about it either.
Dwarf?
He's actually, I'm working on him right now. He's the best dwarf. It's Beric Farblast. I'm still working on finalizing. So every year at this tournament in New York, I allow the Barber family to auction my roster off for charity. I think they made like over $100 on it last time. And so you get to pick my race and 1 star. So I'm playing Ogres with Beric Farblast on Saturday. By the time this podcast is released, I'm sure I'll have done that already. So follow up with me on it if you want to find out how bad Beric Farblast really is.
That's pretty cool. I like that you're letting them pick, obviously for a great cause, but kind of going with the challenge because you don't know what you're going to be stuck with, right?
Yeah, exactly. I kind of figured somebody would stick me with Gretchen, but they didn't. The best part about Beric Farblast is he's only 80K, so he's not really costing you that much money. And yeah, it's a great charity. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I think it's called Logan's Heroes. It's named for a child who passed, who I don't remember what disease he had, but the charity is back to school supplies for underprivileged children in the Albany area in New York. So
awesome.
Good cause.
Great. Yeah, great to hear.
I think you're wrong about the best part of Farblast. The best part of Farblast is what you're doing right now, just painting. After that, it's all downhill.
It is a fun model at least, and yeah, it's it'll be what it'll be. It's all for the think of the children, it's all for the children.
That's right.
It's like Wu-Tang, it's for the children.
Extreme, have you ever used Beric Farblast or no?
Not in the current edition. In the old times, yes.
Because he had what did he have, like a bomb or something in the old days or no? What am I thinking?
No, he had a bazooka.
Yeah, and he still has Hail Mary. It's just that Hail Mary doesn't really do what you want it to do anymore. It could have been a whole lot better back in the day, and now it's just he's going to go on the line when I'm playing defense, and he'll just get punched in the face. That's really what Beric is going to do for me.
Oh, perfect. I'm sure that was as intended when they created the rules for him.
Of course, right?
Exactly what that was. So, Extreme, you put together a video recently for your new case. And you mentioned it holds multiple teams. Is your plan to put all your dwarf teams in there so you can decide when you show up what uniforms we're going to play or no?
I will have two teams with me, because I have the all black rivalry uniforms that I pull out spur of the moment. So those will always be with me. But.
Yeah, very cool. So if you haven't seen the video, check it out on all the Zlurpcast socials and also on YouTube under Zlurpcast from charlievictorproducts.com. They have great stuff on there. You can get a Zlurpcast ball token, or if you see me in person at Zlurpee Bowl, you can buy one of these. I'll have these for $20. It's also ribbed for his pleasure, is what I call this right here with that little lip there for that. So 32 millimeter base is what this is designed for. And I like it because it's got a nice heft to it. You know what I mean? It feels good out there. Some people say it's too big. It's never too big. It's the perfect size. Never too big. Yeah. I'm just saying.
Sean's favorite thing is on the red side of that coin.
It is, in fact, yeah. It says "Why you laugh," I believe, right?
Why you laugh? Yeah, that's
why you laugh.
Why do people laugh? That is actually a really poignant question that one Boryat Sagidiv once graced us with.
Deep and existential, yeah.
That's right. So I'll have these on hand as Zlurpee Bowl. If you did not get one, you can buy it from me. Otherwise, if you want it shipped to you, I don't ship them, but charlievictorproducts.com, he will definitely ship those for you. So we'll have those limited run. Once they're out, they're out. You know, you're going to have to make your own ball token. And who wants to do that? Just use a cool one that already exists out there. Xtreme, have you ever thought, like, what are we going to do afterwards? Like, once these are done, have you thought about what would be another product you'd want? I have. I think a dice cup would be kind of cool. A Zlurpcast dice cup, but made from pieces of scrotum from all of our favorite Blood Bowl coaches.
Okay. Are these donations or do we have to go and collect them?
No, we have to kill them and skin their balls.
Okay.
Yeah, cut them up.
I mean, that's an idea.
Yeah, it's an idea, right? You don't even have an idea. I had an idea. You
That's right. I guess you're one up on me.
That's right, one up on you. So get your nut sacks ready, everybody. We're coming for them. Xtreme, are there any tournaments in the graveyard that you went to that we need to cover?
I don't know, probably. I'm not.
Where's your fucking notes? You always have notes. Where's your notes?
No notes today.
No notes.
Ogre-Hio was recently. Sean was there as well.
So let me do this. I'm gonna put the song. We're gonna play the song that does the tournament graveyard. We can pretend like we're talking, kind of like, oh yeah.
Brought to you by Ogre Guardian. When you're here, you eat families.
You are tuned into the Zlurpcast. The tournament graveyard.
Ogre-Hio.
Yes. The ogre was high. Yes.
The ogre was high. Well, that's the only way to be. You know, that's where the Bonehead comes from originally. You know? Yeah. Were there any actual ogre teams there?
There were quite a few ogre teams. I think close to half the field was ogres. So that was pretty cool. I was actually not playing dwarves. I was playing ogres myself. Well, death rollers.
What is that?
I have an ogre team where all the ogres are death rollers. They had tournament stars, as many tournaments do. And my only goal with my death roller team is to put as many death rollers on the pitch as I can. So I hired 2 big guy star players so I can get 2 more death rollers out there, and I had 8 death rollers on the pitch.
Wait, I get it. So you had 6 death rollers for the 6 ogres, right? Mm-hmm. And then you had 2 more or big guy star players. Were they both ogres?
One was an ogre and one was Old Papa, the treeman. So I took the Old Papa figure and put him inside of a death roller, so he was driving the death roller.
I love it. So you had 8 death rolls on the pitch, which is great to see. Did anyone complain about, you kind of using some alternative models? Because I could see people being like, what the hell is this guy doing out there?
I think because of as ogres, and you just the big guys are big guys, the little guys are the little guys. It's not that bad. So no one complained. Everyone
to your face. To your face.
To my face. Yes.
They might have complained on one of these other podcasts you talked about, Sean. I don't know.
It's possible.
Could have happened. Yeah.
Could have been. No one will know. Right. No one will know. If a complaint happens on a podcast that no one listens to, did it actually happen? The
it's like a tree falling in the forest. Yeah.
Exactly. A tree man in a death roller. What's going to happen there? Sean, you went to Ogre-Hio Bowl.
I did.
What did you bring?
Yeah, so I did not take ogres because I wanted to do something a little bit different, and I took snotlings instead. So still stuck with the stunty theme, and I showed up in full Ricky Bobby Talladega Nights regalia. I had a Wonder Bread jersey and hat on, and I gave out big red gum and blue Powerade to people. My team was all catchphrases from the movie. Team name was "If you ain't first, you're last," and we played Snotlings with two of their stars. I had the tree as well, and they also had a Krampus themed fouling player. I brought a Burl Ives Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer character, and that was my fouling individual.
Awesome.
And I fouled everything all day long, had a great time, won more games than I probably should have. I ended up, I think, on table 3 in the final round where I had no business being. And so we finally came crashing back to earth after that, but had a really good time all day.
Well, congrats, because you were last then, because you weren't first.
We weren't first, but we were last. Exactly.
We were last, yeah. Tied for last with everybody, except for one. Xtreme, you were last as well?
By that metric, yes. I was not very happy with my results, but I guess I was last. Yeah.
Did you get a bunch of ties again, Xtreme? I know you're always really proud of ties for some reason.
No, I had 2 wins, a loss, and a tie, but my loss was to Kuhn and my tie was to Vanderby. So that's a pretty good day.
That's pretty good.
So you always have like little asterisks by your non-wins, by because of the person, it counts as a win.
Well, I think there's just a Midwest rule that losses to Mike Kuhn don't actually count.
Oh, I like that rule.
Yeah.
Well, it's as long as you're happy with the results, Xtreme. Did your rating go up? Do you check still, or do you don't care?
And for ogres, I don't care. No, ogres I can't care because if I go back far enough, it makes me mad that I played so many non-NAF coaches. There is one Chaos Cup that doesn't officially count for me. Chaos Cup 2004. I played every round of that tournament, but only one of them was against an NAF opponent. So
and that was the one
I wasn't there.
And that was the tournament that, you had to have been there because that's where I first saw you at.
And I won Best Painted that year, but I only played one NAF game.
I believe, my memory, this is 21 years ago we're talking about now. What I remember from that one is you had an Xtreme jersey because it was an XFL jersey, right? You had ogres with light blue around their bases, right? And going into day 2, Tom Anders, who was running it, said to me, "Hey, just so you know, you're on top table tomorrow." And I couldn't sleep. I was shitting all night. And then I sucked on day 2 completely. So thank you, Tom, for that. Just don't tell me. Just let me show up and have a good night's sleep. I didn't know. But yeah, that's something that I don't do. Is there a way to contend with non-NAF coaches now, or do we still not have a thing for that?
Now there's a non-NAF account. So your game's still tracked, but it doesn't count for ratings. Your CR doesn't get adjusted.
So it's like a tie, or it doesn't even happen?
It doesn't factor into the score.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your game's tracked, but for rating purposes, it's like it didn't happen.
Okay, that's probably the best solution, actually.
I enjoy looking at the non-NAF account. I go in there to look at their coach page because it amuses me how many, because that's used all over the world, and they've actually won tournaments, and they have like a long award list, and
that's pretty great. That's like I think that I sometimes see that in like pro wrestling memes where like someone has to vacate a title, and it's got like that just blurry says vacant, and that's like, oh, vacant did great that day. So there's probably, well, Xtreme, I would say, aren't there a handful of non-NAF accounts that are out there now that did pretty well some tournaments, or no?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Scratch that. Is that what you're saying? We don't talk about that anymore? Okay, that's fine.
We don't need them anymore.
Well, I'm just saying, look up Ghost Dad is all I'm saying. Look up Ghost Dad username. That's not real.
I mean, there might be a whole theme of anyone ghost related.
Now, Ghost Dad was created before we're not supposed to like the guy who played Ghost Dad, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Because like now you wouldn't create Ghost Dad because of Bill Cosby, but at the time.
I still would.
You would?
Yeah, why not?
Cosby Show's still really fun.
I'm not telling somebody, hey, guess what your username's going to be.
Well, yeah. Unless you actually called him Bill Cosby, I get it. No, I get it. And it's Blood Bowl. They don't get offended. You know what I mean? This is the wrong crowd to think you're going to offend somebody. That's for sure.
That movie's so old that how many people even know what you're talking about?
Nobody. I mean, nobody. I think that's fine. It's the statue, if you will, of Cliff Huxtable's limitations there. I think when we got Zlurpee Bowl on the horizon, you got Gen Con on the horizon. Sean, are you going to Gen Con too?
I won't be this year. No, I'm taking this year off.
Okay, that's a smart move. You don't want to be there. You don't want to be there.
Most of the time, I would agree. This year is kind of exciting. There's going to be 3 Blood Bowl tournaments and a Beach Bowl tournament. So if you only wanted to do Blood Bowl stuff, you can do Blood Bowl stuff every day. And all 3 of the Blood Bowl tournaments are going to be in Lucas Oil.
Wow. Where were they normally?
In the convention center.
In the convention center, yeah.
So the Lucas Oil is right across the street from the convention
center. Yeah, I remember.
They've always had games there.
So I would always park at Lucas Oil, but I didn't know. Weren't there like role-playing games there only? Is that usually what was there?
They used to do like some LARP events and a lot of role-playing stuff. And this year's, I think one of the Blood Bowl tournaments kind of requested it, and they kind of looked at it like, hey, that's actually a really good idea, and moved them all in.
Blood Bowl coaches are kind of like half LARP anyway. Is that why? I mean, Sean's over here and Ricky Bobby gear. It's kind of like half LARP, LARP, if you will. Yeah. They're like, that's fine. These guys are dorky enough, whatever. Let them in. Is Mike running all those tournaments? That's a lot of work, if so.
No, he's only running one of them.
Okay, well, that's good. Yeah.
So Shooty will be running the Thursday event, and the Friday event is run by the Cincinnati gaming group. I forget the name of, but Ryan will be there helping.
Ryan O'Leary is running it.
Shooty's running a tournament, but he's a little kid, right? Isn't he like a little kid?
No, he's all grows up.
He is? Oh, yeah. Man.
Somebody tried to traffic him across the international border for more.
Yeah, he was. I think he was Mike's son, but like not really his son. Just like the guy, I don't know what you want to call it, sort of like a Shooty Stockholm syndrome situation going on there.
Yeah.
Triple S.
Mike put 20 some years into that grooming.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird to see a grooming turn out so poorly, though.
Why you laugh?
It's really weird to me that that's the car that the Border Patrol actually decided they wanted to have additional screening on too.
Right. Yeah. Well, they know what's up. I think it's a lot going on. It's a very busy summer for Blood Bowl, and there's something, like you said, Xtreme, something every month. So you can pick and choose. You don't have to feel obligated. I know that the regional events are still happening, so you still want to go to as many in there. Sean, do you have like a ranking in all of them now at this point? Like all the different tournament circuits?
That's a great question. I don't have every team in 11s with a ranking, but I've got rankings for everybody somewhere in some things. Some of them are in 7s, for example, and I haven't played some of them in 11s. But yeah, otherwise,
it's pretty cool. Kind of nice because it also gives people an incentive to go more often. Even if they're not winning, they still amass points just for showing up, which, hey, participation trophies definitely go a long way. That's what I'm here for. Xtreme, anything else you want to cover on this episode? We had a gigantic, I don't want to say announcement, but a lot of coverage for Amorical next year. It's going to be great. I think everybody should go to this one. If you are trying to figure out what big tournament you should go to next year, give it a try. Is it every 4 years, right? Or 2?
It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be every. Well, at the moment, it's every 3 years. There's talk about changing it and putting it down the road, maybe the other odd year, sort of equidistant spaced with World Cup, but that's down the road.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's not every year, so it's happening next year, and I think you should definitely check it out if you're considering a big tournament to go to. And if you are in the Midwest and you think, you know what, I didn't think I can get to Zlurpee Bowl. I thought it was sold out. I thought he didn't want to accept my roster. Was that rant Xtreme you just had, that rant?
It wasn't a rant. I'm not harassing people about rosters this year.
It was kind of like an announcement to say, I mean, it's an announcement to say this is not a rant, but it in itself was a rant. I mean,
It's asking people to police themselves this year. Do the right thing.
You wrote it in green. Yeah, you wrote it in green though, and that usually means you're angry.
Does it? Is that the secret code?
I think so. You know,
Oh, okay.
You're like, I'm not gonna yell at anybody this year. Like, but you're yelling now. That's
We've
I
had
think,
a number of rosters in already. I'm
Well, yeah,
very
you
happy.
scared the shit out of them. That's why. You're like hyping up the special gift like it's the greatest thing ever, and nobody knows. Nobody knows,
including me.
Oh, you don't have one yet?
That reminds me, I need to do my roster still too. So.
Yeah. You're the only person in the first 10 that hasn't submitted a roster yet.
Ooh.
Not that I keep track of those.
Not that you keep track of it, right?
Yeah. He's truly a grudge-bearing dwarf. That's extreme. And I'll tell you what, Zlurpee Bowl is a great time, so make sure to get there as well. And anything else we got to cover, guys? Any other tournaments coming up, or we pretty much got it all covered? This is what Zlurpcast does. We tell you whatever's on our mind. There's no structure. There's no format. It's just whatever.
I'm running a tournament in a couple of weeks on Saturday, July 12th, up again in the Metro Detroit area. It's called Second Sons Duels. I run an online fumble league called Second Sons, Game of Thrones kind of themed. And this tournament sort of pays homage to that. There are every year there's a new Game of Thrones themed and Second Sons themed star that you can add and play in, sort of similar to the way that Mike Muller does with the Adepticon Scares guys as well. This year we're doing the Red Viper over in Martel, who is kind of a pro elf catcher with sidestep and the ability to do one really cool thing, but afterwards he has no more armor. So you have to watch out for large creatures that might smash your head. That tournament is on Saturday, the 12th of July. Again,
did you just give a spoiler on this show? Is that what you were just doing now? A spoiler for Game of Thrones? Is that what you just did?
It is a Game of Thrones spoiler. If you didn't, if you're not caught up quite, apologies. But you've had several years at this point, so I don't feel
okay. I don't know what the rule is. I don't know how many years you get anymore. I'm just wondering.
But yeah, so that's going on Saturday, July 12th, and anybody who wants to come on in, we still have some room. Feel free to reach out.
So make sure get your ass a Second Sons. I believe you can win a sword if I remember correctly.
There are wooden swords for the winners. Yeah. So Mike Kuhn has most of my swords, but we'll see if we can get somebody else a sword this time. Yeah. So
as much as I want to spread the wealth, if you're good, you're good. I guess you collect all the prizes. I don't know. I've gone back and forth, on the whole, can you win multiple awards? Can you not? I've seen advantages to both ways. You know what? If you're good, you're good. If you suck, oh, well, I don't know what to tell you. Try for best sport, right? Best painted, I guess you can try. Extreme, what would you go for? Because you're not going to win. What are you going to go for?
I don't know.
It's harsh.
I'm
tough crowd
to have fun.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's, prove me wrong. That's all. Prove me wrong. At the very least, Extreme, you're going to get several more dwarf games under your belt.
3 more dwarf games. Yeah.
3 more. That's great. Yeah. And are you counting all or only NAF games? Is it NAF only?
Only NAF games, only Blood Bowl 2020 plus Classic.
Okay. So no Beach Bowl, no Street Bowl, no Gutter Bowl. Just
no Specialist.
No Specialist, yeah.
Because one of the Big House Challenges was a Specialist. So those I'm not counting.
Yeah, that's okay. Understandable. So a lot of stuff going on. Extreme, where's the best place people should go to find out about tournaments coming up?
It's everywhere. The NAF site has that state option, so that's always fun. You can look up tourneys that are coming up.
Yeah,
there.
It's nice to get an upgrade on there. It's been 23 years, but nice to get an upgrade after 23.
Yeah, I mean, I like the little badges on the coach page. Those are fun.
I like using the site on my phone, and I have to pinch it. You know what I mean? That's kind of cool. Like to pinch, just pinch it a little bit. It's kind of nice. So I'm hoping. Sean, when you run for NAF president, are you going to fix the website?
I'm not running for NAF president. So that's.
I said when you have all the qualifications, You're a natural born citizen. Isn't that one of the things, right?
I have none of the
you're
desire.
35 or more. Desire. All you need is a personality to be a politician now. We know this.
Well, that's fair. So.
So Xtreme, the NAF site as well. And then you would recommend the Discord that has all of the U.S. tournaments, correct?
Yeah, the U.S. tournament Discord, and for the Indiana area stuff, we talk about a lot of those on the Zlurpcast Discord.
You'll find out about stuff. If you want to attend Blood Bowl events, you don't have to look that hard, right? They'll come up. So I think Sean went away.
His computer died.
Oh, okay. Bye, Sean. He said
Thanks
bye.
for coming on, Sean.
Thanks for coming.
About Amorical. I'm super psyched. I'm ready for it. I just have to wait 15 months now.
Yeah, the waiting is the hardest part, as Tom Petty once said. And Xtreme, should we talk about that we have a team, or is that something that we don't want to get into yet?
We can. Yeah, it's fine if you want.
Okay.
I mean, it's an unofficial team because we can't register yet, but I'm pretty confident in it.
Yeah. So we have a team. It's the Z team because it's Zlurpee and Zlurpcast, because Z, everything Z is Zlurpified. Side note, Xtreme, I just learned about Zaxby's now that I moved, and everything they do is Z as well.
Yeah, that might be why they're my favorite chicken place.
Yeah, you never told me about that. Hold on, Sean wants to come back in. Excited to unofficially form a team. And I'll just throw this out there. If people want to go to Amorical Cup but don't have a team, are you trying to do any matchmaking or no?
We will have matchmaking going on primarily through the Discord app. So if you're not a member of it, sign up for the Amorical Cup Discord, and we can get you submitted in with a team. We'll try and do some matchmaking so people can definitely be involved. The last thing I want is to have somebody who's interested in being involved in an event like Amorical Cup and doesn't really know who else to be with. We'll absolutely work to get people in for that.
Have you thought about like putting pictures up so they just like swipe who they like?
That sounds like a great idea, actually. Yeah.
I mean, it kind of does though. It's kind of like, because visually who you're going to fit in with. You know what I mean? Like if you're a fun, cool Blood Bowl guy and you see Ryan O'Leary's face on there, he's in like a weird outfit or something, like that guy, and you click on him. But if you're a serious one, you're like, I don't want that guy. That's just how it goes. I think just throwing it out there.
Love it.
Yeah. Well, we got a lot to plan for. Like Xtreme said, we got to wait a little bit. Got to wait a little bit of time. But otherwise, big event next year. Zlurpee Bowl, Second Sons, Chaos Cup coming up as well. There is a whole lot going on. If you're not paying attention, all you got to do is just look. It's out there. Anything you guys want to plug and promote before we wrap up?
I think so. I think we've plugged and promoted everything that I wanted to plug and promote.
I think so too.
That's what we do. That's what we do. That's what the whole show is. The whole show is like a big infomercial. So call now. Get yourself a Zlurpcast ball token while supplies last. Follow Zlurpcast on all of the socials. Join the Zlurpcast Discord. Join the Facebook group called Zlurp Nation as well. ZlurpNation.com has all of your links. You can watch the show on YouTube. You could listen to it on anywhere you get podcasts. And don't forget to join us for the live Zlurpcast on July 24th. There is a Facebook event out there. But basically, we don't know how it's going to go. We've never done it before. It could be a mess. Could be a total shit show, but isn't that a good thing? You're going to bring your own Zlurpees. You're going to have to describe what you're drinking, tell us what's going on. If you want to just put it on and listen to and watch while you're painting or whatever, that's okay too. It's going to be kind of a way for the community to interact. We'll be on from 7 to 11, 7-11 Zlurpee time, and we'll see what happens. So that is July 24th. So look for the Facebook event for that, and feel free to sign up. No cost, just show up and we'll see how it goes. So for Sean and Xtreme, I'm Jonny P. Thank you for listening and watching Zlurpcast. Bye-bye.
Meet Charlie Victor, the MVP of Blood Bowl accessories. Need swag for your Blood Bowl league or tournament? Charlie Victor's got you covered. From dice that roll one's way too often, to gear that makes your team look as sharp as your trash talk. Impress or insult your fake-ass Blood Bowl friends with the Zlurpcast Ball Liquor Token. Why you laugh indeed. Hey, Coach, level up your game at charlievictorproducts.com.